Welcome, everyone, to the Incredicast podcast. I'm Adam Hurst, here with David Kerrigan, and man, oh man, did we have a great race at Daytona this past weekend.
Real restrictor plate racing, I must say. This is how it's supposed to be at restrictor plates. So yeah, fantastic race. Congratulations. Huge congratulations. Drove to his first win. A lot of these young kids coming in today, it's because of rain or because their crew chief has brain cells or for whatever reason. But Erik Jones, first NASCAR Monster Energy Cup Series win ever because he drove that car into victory lane. He fought Truex, he fought Casey, and he got it in. So huge congratulations to the 20 team, Jug Gibbs Racing. And hey, we've been calling out Jug Gibbs Racing, everyone who's not Kyle Busch, to be honest, saying, hey, where have you been?
Yeah, we said last week, son? It was like, it's KBM 0.2 out there, but there, Erik Jones, he goes and proves us wrong. He's like, there is a second Joe Gibbs driver. I'm right here. So congratulations to Erik Jones.
I wouldn't say he proved us wrong because half the field did wreck like 12 times. But
if he said that, if he did that at Kentucky, that would be proving us wrong. But
let's see, the people who won pole wrecked. The other faster cars wrecked. Everyone wrecked. Grandpa wrecked. Grandma wrecked.
Oh, there goes Grandpa.
Susie wrecked. But yes, we're going to take you through Daytona. And who was on pole?
That would be second place Chase, who was denied of a second place, gets first, and would be his fourth pole of his career. Alongside of him would be his teammate Alex Bowman. Then third place, we would have the what would be known as the best current restrictor plate racer, Brad Keselowski, in third. Then Kevin Harvick in fourth, or was it Jimmy? I'm not too sure about that.
It would be Jimbo Johnson.
Jimbo in third, then Harvick would be fifth. So that would be your top five for this lineup.
Where's the Toyotas?
Where are they? Back in 12th, 13th?
In Victory Lane.
At Victory Lane, that's where they ended up. But so at Daytona, it doesn't matter where you start, it's where you finish. Most of them finished in the garage, though.
Most of them.
Most.
Oh my goodness.
If not all.
Mass majority. But yes, see, here's the thing though, is that the Hendrick cars were in pole, and they were fast though, to be honest. We can't take anything away from HMS today. We've been calling them out for the past half a year or so, saying, where have you been? I've been calling you. You don't respond. Not on Twitter anymore. They're just not there on the track, really. And then today, not only had they gotten the pole, they were fast. But really, who was the faster cars out there?
Stenhouse, pretty much. Stenhouse. He dominated the stages. Most of the Fords were up there. Brad Keselowski, Blaney a few bits. Roush Yates basically was
exactly
really
that's
fast.
My point. Not Chevrolet. Roush Yates, they are powering Kevin Harvick to possibly a second championship. He's on pace for that, certainly. And just their restrictor plate package. Oh, what they have is so beautiful. I mean, Kurt and Blaney in the 500, and then today Stenhouse, Michael McDowell in the 34 car. Positive, encouraging K-Love could have won this race today. So that's a huge testament to how powerful those engines are.
Then it would be Stenhouse winning stage one. Towards the end of that stage, we just had a Sunday drive on a Saturday. So Stenhouse winning the first ever stage for Roush Fenway.
Wow.
And then during that caution, Kevin Harvick would have a vent issue. The tubing or whatever that was came out, and he had to go and replace all of that. But he would be still in the lead lap, still good. And also, Ryan Blaney had to keep coming back through for a fueling issue. And then, what would we see after that?
We would see the big one, courtesy of Stenhouse, who, our common theme of the night was, oh no, the 17 car is behind you, run, get away from him because he will wreck you. Poor Brad Keselowski, could say it was Brad's fault, could say it was Stenhouse's fault, could say it was Danica's fault, to be honest. Causes a huge wreck. All the top contenders, Chase Elliott, your pole sitter, Harvick got damaged, a lot of damage. Just everyone, all of Penske, the mass majority of Stuart Haas, Hendrick, Hibbs cars, such as Suarez, just a lot of cars, a lot of good cars, I do have to say, got wrecked. So,
yeah. And
courtesy of Stenhouse.
Not too long after that, courtesy
Stenhouse strikes back.
Stenhouse, the second Star Wars movie comes out, or whatever movie it was in the saga, but Stenhouse would strike back and
taking out your other fast cars, Kyle Busch and William Byron. Dude, have your bumper. I know they say bumpers are for bumping, but I mean, come on, man.
That would take out, I believe, Kyle Larson as well. So a lot more
fast cars as well.
A lot more fast cars are out of this. Stenhouse is basically saying, well, they're all gone, so I win. And wouldn't be the case because there would still be a lot more wrecking going on. But he would go on to win stage 2 to claim the second career stage for Roush Fenway.
He tore Daytona, Florida, a new one, and then he would win 2 stages.
The guy who would love all of this is Dale Jr. Yes, he's in the booth, but he loves it for his race car graveyard. A lot more for his collection there.
A whole lot of new cars to add to his property. And speaking of Dale Earnhardt Jr., shout out to NASCAR. I know, right? Us saying a good thing about the sport. You ended the commercials of pain and suffering. Thank you. Same Dale, new views, new Dale, same GOAT. I don't care what it is. You ended it. Now had actual annoying commercials. So awesome. Fantastic to see that again. And then, so half the field is gone. And then after that, half of the remaining field is gone. So who is really left in this race, Adam, who had the speed to win and had the speed to carry on?
Well, we have Stenhouse somehow still in it at this point. Then we would have Truex is still in it. We have your eventual race winner who's got some damage, but he's still fast. Somehow we still have Kevin Harvick. Not sure why.
Somehow still have Clint Boyer.
Somehow still have Clint Boyer. Eric Almirola would still be fast, but lap down. Not really in contention anymore. And that's about it, really. I mean, you would have like Casey Kane, Michael McDowell, just these guys looking for either their first win or their first win in a while, trying to get redemption. That's really all you had. You had like the 3 big guys up there like Boyer, Harvick, and the rest of the field's like, I haven't won a single race all year. So
yeah, true.
Top 10 was like, this guy's got 3 wins, this guy's got 6 wins, this guy's got 1 win, 0, 0, 0, 0.
It shows, though, how we see things and how he's really doing, because there's one key guy who, say, 2-3 years ago, of course we talk about him, but you didn't even mention him. Jimbo Johnson, 7-time champion Jimmy Johnson, survived the wreck, had a fast car, started P3, correct? No, 4, sorry. Started 4th, fast car, led his first laps of the season, could have won this race. And the fans, they saw a black car at Daytona and they freaked out. But but man, why aren't we talking about Jimmy Johnson?
Well, Jimmy would lead a few laps there. The fans went cheering, and that would be Too soon, everyone, because Jimmy Johnson had a penalty on pit road for servicing the car out of the box.
He had a pitting penalty for pitting, let's just say.
You're not allowed to pit. That's just like in the Xfinity series, we had a penalty for pitting out of sequence. So
pitting out of sequence?
Yeah, he pitted for strategy and then got penalized for it. So
oh my.
A lot of weird things happening this weekend.
So here's the thing. It certainly drew a lot of controversy. If it hasn't really already, it's going to tonight and tomorrow. So your fastest car ever, your wrecking ball, Stenhouse in the 17, Roush Fenway, wow, crashes because he decided to fall back in the 42, just decided to wreck him, takes out a tire on the 42, and then he takes out the 17. So your race leader, kind of, having green flag stops, you're having all this stuff. During the green flag stops, while this is happening, I know, confusing, the 48 car does the unthinkable. How can you do this? They fill the car up with gas, and they penalize them for that. So I know, okay, so the actual penalty was he serviced the car while not in his pit box. Okay. Like he didn't stop in his box after the car. Yeah. No, that's not what happened. As he was taking off, because, as we said, half of the and so forth, other field was wrecked out. So the 48 had the very first pit box. So the pit boxes in front of him are completely empty. They're packing up. They're at home. Those cars are on the haulers coming to Charlotte as we speak. And so he has a clear run, there's nothing wrong with that. In the past, NASCAR, as we say, has been going on since 1949, never had an issue with that. And they changed the rule. So as the 48 car is starting to get on the gas, the gasman is still filling up the car, and half of the 48 is in the other pit box. That's a penalty while he's doing that. They changed it this past year. For no reason.
Yeah, and I've seen plenty of people do that this year, and it was a penalty, or not a penalty. So, really strange that they would just randomly just start enforcing it now. But
I mean, and you just have stupidity.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, what bad did it do? I mean, no one's around you. It's not giving you any sort of advantage. If it does, it's 0.0005 seconds maybe, but really dumb call for them, and Jimmy Johnson got bit for it.
And he was a really fast car out there too. He was leading the race, P1, on pace to win at Daytona. Hendrick was gonna win, and it's just so stupid. And then NBC, my goodness, you've only been here for half a second. And Steve Letarte goes, and I quote, NASCAR cleaned up a lot of uncertainty this past offseason. Cleaned up? Really? Cleaned We never had an issue with this, but yet they cleaned it up.
It just seems like NASCAR loves to create controversy. They love it. They love
common sense.
They love it when their fans riot outside of their window. They love it.
For no reason. Like, there needs to be a distinction. There needs to be consistency, which is a key trait that they haven't ever had in NASCAR. I realize that. But my goodness, I feel so bad for Chad Knaus, who we haven't heard him scream and curse on the radio in 2 or 3 years. So it was really
it's refreshing to have those old memories back. But but as a fan, it kills so much of your enthusiasm for the sport for dumb calls like that to happen. Because it's like Jimmy Johnson, can he redeem himself after falling from grace? Oh, no, he can't. We're taking that away from him.
You know why? Because he did something that was legal 3 seconds ago.
As Chad said, they made up a new rule on the fly as they're going.
And it doesn't cause anything by doing that. It doesn't. It's courtesy, because if there was a car who was, say, like, a lap down or whatever in the back, who was coming into the pits, Jimmy had the first pit box, so he's being courteous to other cars. He was first, so he came in first in the green flag. He was being courteous and also trying to get a good straight shot run out of pit road. This is something we've always been doing, and the 48, if there is anyone to use the bathroom on, as they say, this year, it would have to be Team Hendrick and the 48 specifically. So,
yeah, they had a chance to redeem themselves and just got taken out of the picture too early there with Chase, and then you had Byron, and then at the end of the day, it's like you got Bowman up there. That's the only guy that can finish the deal, and he just never could do anything. But speaking of Hendrick cars, the only alive car out there, Kasey Kahne. It's not a Hendrick car.
It's not really a Hendrick.
but he's sort of, because there's associates, but somehow Kasey Kahne's up there running top 2, top 3, and has a good day overall. So it would have been cool to see Kasey Kahne back in victory lane before Hendrick. That would have been something.
My goodness. They would be rioting in Concord, North Carolina. I'd guarantee you that.
I would look outside my window, and there'd be a gulf of fire. Oh, it's just Concord over there.
Yeah.
But we saw Kevin Harvick. He was out there fishing.
Yes, the entire rear bumper of the 42 car was on his hood. I mean, Harvick is winning races. He's doing all this stuff, and he's trying to be courteous to NASCAR. He's helping them clean up the track. I mean, he's such a swell guy. My goodness, I would give him the championship today.
You get a Good Samaritan award. Thank you, Kevin Harvick.
Kevin Harvick receives the Incredicast Award, the Gold Star Samaritan.
The Samaritan Award, sponsored by Incredicast. Thank you for being a good citizen, Kevin Harvick.
So, after all this, we still have some racing at Daytona. It's not finished. And speaking of not finished, neither is Ricky Stenhouse's Rage of Rampage. He pulls a tire, I believe, and just KOs Joey Gase, and in turn they both tag team steel cage match on poor Eric Almirola, another Stewart-Haas car who I don't know how he survived, and they really cleaned up that car. But the poor guy gets tag teamed, he gets shoved up against the wall, and then his own tire beats him up and passes him.
Wow. He's like, well, if you can't race, I'm going. Get a run, Tire goes
left
on.
rear tire, yeah.
Tire goes on to win. Congratulations, everyone at Tire Motorsports and Goodyear. But yeah,
his left rear tire comes off the car, and then it hits him on the roof, and then passes him after he's done wrecking, and is going halfway into the tri-oval. It was beautiful. It's like, to be honest,
like after the end of the race, you got a crew member slapping the other guy on the butt. That's what that tire did. It's like, good game. I'm gone. So,
GG to the 10 team.
GG. Didn't we see Stenhouse wreck another time by himself?
Yes.
So Stenhouse.
He did.
Stenhouse goes,
it's not over for him.
Okay, I've wrecked everyone. It's time for myself to go.
How many times can you cause a wreck or be in a wreck or have your name associated with the word wreck? Oh my goodness. So,
there's like
either way,
4 or 5, 10 wrecks out there tonight, and it was all Stenhouse. Besides maybe 1.
11 cautions or 10 cautions maybe. Yeah. And at least half of them, not even joking, were with Stenhouse. But either way, speaking of wrecks, Kevin Harvick, who wrecked in that very first wreck, would somehow fix up his car and would somehow almost win the race. Tonight was the small town short track fix up your ride race. Everyone who crashed was coming back. Jimmy Johnson got his lap back after wrecking 2 more times and almost won this race. The only car who I would say was really clean out there and was, still having a good day would be Martin Truex Jr. And boy, was that 78 fast.
Yeah, he caught the field by himself at one point. Like he was out of the draft.
He's down 4 seconds.
4 seconds and catches the field. So he had a monster of a car out there today. So fastest car versus all these red cars and loses somehow. That's restrictor plate racing at Daytona, everyone. We would see Bubba Wallace get such a massive run, hits Clint Boyer. Boyer misses Harvick.
Coming to the white, mind you.
Coming to the white, just a few feet before the white flag. Boyer barely misses Harvick. Harvick's like, I missed a bullet there. Looks in his mirror. Here comes Bubba Wallace. And and takes out Harvick after a hard fault day. Not for a hard fart day, guys. I guess you could say it was.
Yeah. I'd say it was for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like Hamlin, Blaney. But, yeah, just how many wrecks is there going to be in this race? And, like, they're all involving the same people? It's like, But not really a pointful wreck. I think Bubba Wallace didn't see that it was the white flag in the air. He probably thought it was the checkered, and he probably thought it was the 500 again, and so he was racing for the win. I don't know what was in his mind, what brain cells were working, what weren't, but takes out Boyer, who had a wrecked car, and they fixed that up. He was going to have a top 5 finish. Same with Harvick, and just completely ends them a few feet away from home. But, yeah.
Yeah. So, the interesting thing from that, like, if there was no caution, Truex would have been most likely your winner. But there was a caution. And now we have Truex on the inside, Erik Jones on the outside. Chris Buescher, Kasey Kahne behind them. Who's it going to be? And then Kasey Kahne on the restart somehow gets around Truex. Kasey Kahne
somehow almost clears him.
By
the way.
And almost gets redeemed out there. And then Erik Jones comes out there with a massive run. And
on the 3 wide, he's up against the wall going into turn 3. Huge move by that Jones boy, man. He redeemed himself from when he wrecked 3-4 times at Arlington. Huge move by the 20 car. Gets in the lead and holds off Martin Truex. Holds him off, the fastest car in the field. Just plainly in front of him. Truex can't get it done. Cannot get a run on him to the checkered. Erik Jones is now a Cup Series winner. Congratulations to the 20 team and Joe Gibbs Racing.
Yeah, it has been an eventful night for NASCAR. Very eventful. Congratulations, Erik Jones. And he's in the playoffs now. He doesn't have to worry about points or anything. Like he can cruise if he wants to. Then you got Bristol coming up. He was good at last year. He might possibly get more than one win before the playoffs.
Who knows, man? Anything's possible right now at this point. And because you have people such as Kevin Harvick and Kyle Busch and Truex who are getting all these wins, now you have this situation where there's a lot of playoff spots left. So if some small team, such as a Kasey Kahne, such as a McDowell, if they can get a win, they're pretty much guaranteed in.
Yeah, pretty much. Right now we have 7 winners. Kyle Busch, Harvick, Truex, Boyer, Logano, Jones, Austin Dillon. They're in. There's no taking them out unless one of them gets below 30th in the points. which is most likely not going to happen. Then we have Brad Keselowski being the first non-winner, Kurt Busch in 9th, Kyle Larson 10th, Hamlin in 11th, Eric Almirola in 12th, Ryan Blaney in 13th, Jimmy Johnson in 14th, Chase Elliott in 15th, Alex Bowman in 16th, and as we stated, Ricky Stenhouse, he was so aggressive tonight that, he's outside of the cutoff right now.
He had 2 stage wins and he's outside of the cutoff?
He's 19 points out. Alex Bowman's 19 points in. Chase Elliott is 37 points in.
Well, that's,
Jimmy Johnson, 54. The maximum amount of points you can get from a race is 60, which means that the maximum points you can lose is 60. So people like Blaney and Almirola, they're pretty much safe as long as they have good finishes. But Jimmy, Chase, and Bowman, all Hendrick cars, they're all in this. They might be safe, but then again, the way that they're running might cause a bit of issue.
Kind of in some hot water right now, if you ask me. There's 9 spots left to win and proceed into the playoffs with 8 races left. So if worst comes to worst and we have a new driver who wins every race continuing on here from here, which is very unlikely because we're going to Kentucky, we're going to the Brickyard, going to actual tracks that Kevin Harvick, Kyle Busch will be at. It's very unlikely. However, if that happens, there's still 1 spot left. So at least now, at least one person who has not won a race shall advance into the playoffs. So I think we're going to have a lot more, of course, but still, It's crazy.
Yeah, unfortunately for these lower teams, there's no more restrictor plate racing until after the playoffs. So, after this moment, we have, Kentucky, we got New Hampshire, Pocono again, Watkins Glen, Michigan, Bristol, and then Darlington and Indianapolis. So, probably all going to be the top 3 in the sport, winning all of those, unless something happens and they all crash in the first few laps. That's the only way.
Watkins Glen should be interesting, though. Driver track, another chance for AJ Allmendinger.
Yeah,
another chance for those type of guys. So either way, it's time to play this week's edition of the 2-part game. Incredicast has now merged them of Where Am I? So, I'm Landon Castle. Where am I?
Not even in this race, to be honest.
What happened to Landon? Oh.
He had some sort of mechanical issue at the beginning of the race. Couldn't even get off the grid. Already down. The big one already takes you out before you even get on the track. So, unfortunate for the 99 team, Starcom Racing. They had a good run with Joey Gase, but then, as we stated earlier, that would burn in a fire later on.
Forged in a horrible fire. The green flag was too much stress for Landon. I know the feeling. Now, here's an actual Daytona 500 winner, a driver who's won many times. I didn't do the research to see how many wins he has. I apologize. But where was Denny Hamlin?
In the first crash.
38th. 38th.
They hyped up this paint scheme that he had for months.
And it got destroyed.
Destroyed first stage. And
horribly wrecked.
Which Hamlin, I believe, is pretty okay in the points. There's no need for him to stress out over 138th finish. But who knows? He could lose out in the playoffs. He's currently 131 in, so probably would take him 3 bad races. So he's okay. So he sat out. He took one off. Took a day off.
He's consistent enough to remain in. But
had a Coca-Cola, again,
Yeah. Hey, man. When you're in that Coca-Cola racing family, anything's possible. But see, here's my question, though. Is that again, we have to talk about this because it's too blatant not to. Kyle Busch is insane. 5 wins. He's winning. He's doing so well every single type of track we go to. Short track, 1.5 miles, 2 mile, super speedway, road course. He's everywhere. And his teammates aren't. Congratulations to Erik Jones for getting a win, but where is the rest of Joe Gibbs? And to be fair, like, all the best cars did wreck, but still, where is Hamlin? How come he can't win races?
Well, he's been consistent. He just hasn't been top tier. Like, he hasn't been able to take wins from Kyle, from Harvick, from Truex, from Boyer even. So maybe he's about the same as he was last year. It's just these top 4 guys are just on another level right now. Or maybe something happened with Hamlin and something happened. I mean, there's no other reason for him to, because he won a few races last year. Won Darlington, he won New Hampshire. Which I'm sure he's circling New Hampshire right now.
Yeah, for sure. And to be fair, both of those tracks are coming up on our radar pretty soon. So, who knows? But
next up, we have good old Kentucky. So, what makes Kentucky a little different from the other tracks that we go to?
Turn 3 at Kentucky. It looks like Fontana, and it turns like Kansas. Turn 3, turn 4. It's a short track, but you drive it kind of... Actually, it's a 1.5 mile track, but you drive it kind of like a short track. It's a weird track. It's kind of fun to watch, to be honest, comparatively speaking. So... which again, it's a short track. You drive it like a 1.5 mile track, which is perfect for Kevin Harvick, Kyle Busch, and Martin Truex, which I'm sure we'll see a top 3 get another victory this weekend. However, it's pretty good place for Penske, as we've seen Brad Keselowski take home that trophy there a couple times in the past. Blaney still looking for the first win with the captain. A lot of other guys at Strauss, Eric Almirola, Kurt Busch, Denny Hamlin, as we talked about with Gibbs. So anything's possible, but what makes it special is it's in the mountains of Kentucky.
Well,
the air is different.
One important thing that we can note is, like, last year, Truex started his real championship run at Kentucky. So I can predict it'll be almost the same exact thing. Like, who can come out on top at this point in the season? Will it still be a 3-car race, or will someone else join the battle? We'll just have to wait and see. But who do you think will be in the picture at Kentucky?
Well, you know what? We both picked guys who got last and second to last today at Daytona, or last night if you're watching this now. I'm not getting discouraged. Because of these top 3 guys, because of these big bad wolves named Kevin, Kyle, and Martin. Ryan Blaney, he almost won this race last year, keep in mind, until Martin Truex stole his candy. But Ryan Blaney got pole. Really good at this track. Penske cars are improving, as we saw today. I know Super Speedway is different, but the 22, the 2, the 12, they were all up there. So I'm going with Ryan Blaney taking home the big one at Kentucky. Yeah, he's been improving. Penske's been doing good. I don't see why he can't win this race.
Well, as for me, I'm going for one of the top 3, of course. Easy picks.
How typical.
You left 3, you're wide open. But I'm actually going with Harvick, and that is because Kentucky is a track he's never won at, which is, they're probably putting everything into it, because Kyle Busch recently this year has won at every track. You have to be the next one to do it. So,
yeah,
They're going to be charging
Or you
hard.
can stop watching, such as Kyle Busch suggests. Just don't watch.
Just turn that remote off.
Don't give them views.
Click
Stop it.
unsubscribe on this. Don't watch anymore. So,
Stop filling food in their pantry. Stop it. Stop paying. Turn your TV off now.
we don't like living good.
Freaking stupid.
Stop.
Freaking idiot. But yeah. So, again, 2018. It's July. You can't bet anything against Kevin Harvick. So that is a pick that could come true. Blaney's less likely, but hey, you never know. Erik Jones won today. I mean, who of us woke up thinking, Erik Jones shall be a Cup winner today? Like, no one.
Foretold in the prophecy, that Jones boy will
That
win
Jones boy.
in Florida. Yeah, I mean, if Blaney could step up to these big bad wolves and wins a race, that can really, show something that he might be actually in the playoff picture himself, go all the way to Homestead.
Yeah.
So you never know. I mean, we could see Jimmy Johnson just flip a switch and to win 10 in a row, tying Richard Petty's record for in a rows. So
yeah. I mean, hey, it happened with Tony Stewart in 2011.
Yeah.
Guy had a horrible season. He said from himself that he didn't believe that he should even be in the chase because he'll be taking up a spot. Quote verbatim, and seeing that's from Tony Stewart, it's pretty believable, right? Guy wins 5 of the 10 chase races, ties in the championship points, has the tiebreaker, wins the championship. So you never know. This is NASCAR. David Hoots could get a car and win every race. We don't know. It's possible.
But that's what we love about the sport, right? It's not F1 where Hamilton wins.
It's not,
5 years.
What I love.
ahead.
I don't like David Hoots.
Well, no.
That's not what I
The unpredictability of the playoffs, because like Harvick, Kyle, and Truex pretty much deserve the championship. No matter which one wins it, they deserve it. But, Blaney could come out of nowhere and win one, But who knows?
Yeah, it's very possible.
We'll have to see. And before we get off of here, we will mention that this is Incredicast's birthday, first ever year doing podcast.
We have learned how to walk. Happy birthday, Incredicast. Been doing it for a year and 2 days now. It's been pretty fun. Yeah, can't say much more. Only a year old, right?
You got to think about it. Last year, it's like if you watch those old videos, it's like we couldn't.
Oh, please don't.
Don't though. We couldn't even
talk
go
to be
through
honest.
A video without something going on, something wrong happening. Kentucky, we had a good video going out. The mic didn't record. Had to do it all over again.
Totally gone. Yeah.
Then our first one, was like streaming.
Horrible. Don't even do a reference to that. That's how bad it is.
We used to stream these things. It's crazy how far a year's gone. We've been able to meet drivers, got to do some cool things at certain places. It's really cool what we've been able to do.
Yeah, for sure.
And here's to another year of Incredicast.
Here's to another year, God willing, by His grace and His will, we shall be here for another year, and so forth with that 1,000-year Reich. Something Hitler failed to do, we'll try to do it the right way this time on YouTube. So Kentucky is next week, right?
Yep, next Saturday.
Okay, just confirming. Kentucky, which another night race. Thank God. I love these night races, man.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. So stay tuned and we'll see you in Kentucky.